Hey Jess, let me record a little video, okay? You can see a little bit more, and you can go over the document, okay? Okay. So, this is the main document, okay? I think that these are the key clauses right here. Let me move this up. Oh my God, I'm so fucking hungry right now. I'm dying. Okay, this total equity granted, okay? This is what we mentioned here, okay? This is actually not a number, okay? What we're saying is going to be above market. Okay, I'm going to close this to gain some space. Okay, what we're saying is going to be above market, okay? But we'll be able to see it here, okay? This needs to be discussed, okay? So for example, company like this, okay, generally will give like something like well, a VC backed, okay? VC back when they're growing, okay? It really depends, okay? But we could be offering, I think the key is, while this seems like a lot, like 1%, 5%, 0.5% of all this, actually depends on the contribution. For me, this is the key to contribution. If they're running 4 years and they're growing, they're helping grow the core organization, it's money well spent. And this is the key. It's time where there's scarcity of money, but there's capacity to give shares, valuable amount of shares. Afterwards, especially if some VC money comes by or we're a little bit tighter, it's going to be harder to give up shares, and in the end, you know what I mean? It just becomes a little bit tighter. So I'm just saying this needs to be calculated. Obviously, you need to align on this, okay? I'm just saying that there could be a 1%, okay? Um, for people. Obviously, it's linked to their potential to drive, to their salary. There's a 1 year vesting period, a 1 year cliff, okay? And we could say, hey, if the organization grows at this level, we'll give you. We could also link it to percentages, okay? This one, just to clarify, okay? Vesting period, 4 years total. This is matching the market. Cliff period, 12 months, matching the market. Monthly vesting cliff. Okay, this is just a standard, basically 148. Basically, you're the 12 months per year, 4 years, 48. Okay. Accelerated vesting, 100% of vested shares. Okay, this is standard in the market. If the company sells, even if you joined 6 months ago, okay, you make all your shares. Okay, not because and the key thing here is that, oh, that sounds unfair. You'll be giving many fewer shares. If we're close to selling the company, okay, we'll be giving many fewer shares just to be objective about this. It's true that the person has to work 6 months and all him or her shares best, and they're going to be incredibly happy, okay, people, but they'll be getting many fewer shares, okay? That's what's going to happen. And, we're talking about I mean, some companies have IPO'd very early or have become really, but they're private. All of them are private. Cursor, what they have 50 employees, 100 employees, but they're a private company. They could be worth nothing tomorrow. Okay, this is the key factor. Okay, here accelerated vesting termination. The idea of this is, look, if you are terminated without cause, just saying, hey, we're just cutting this. There's no good reason. There's no, but we're closing. Okay, this is linked to not because of us. This is more linked to us being taken over by someone. Okay, you have new management. The new management decides to maybe fire you, maybe fire me, maybe whatever. This is linked to saying, hey, you're still getting 50% of your unvested shares. Okay. This is a protection for employees, but also for yourself. Okay. And to be very frank, because you could be there could be a moment where the company is taken over by someone else because the company is in a bad situation in liquidity. They come, they put the money, they take a majority, and then they say, okay, I'm changing management. Okay. And if you've worked, you get knocked out. This is the one that could be it would still be fine if it were 25, 30%, 100% wouldn't be, okay? That would be conflictive because then someone buying the company might say, "Hey, I don't like this," but this is relatively standard, okay? The exercise window, okay? And I think this for me is important and this makes a big difference. I'm not sure everybody is aware of this, but vesting, okay, in 7 years or 10 years, what this means is you don't need to put up the money up front as an employee, generally, which is completely reasonable. Now, just in terms of that, just in terms of context, because even a co-founder or even the founder can end up being an employee or can end up being in the situation where the new management or the investors or something happens, the bank itself, okay, we have a loan, okay, and comes, takes over, someone else takes over and says, hey, you're out. Okay. You're out means you need to buy your own shares of your own private company. Okay. Which is, in your case, could be a lot of money. Okay. $500,000. And you're like, what the hell? I don't know. This company is not even managed by me. Okay. So I find this very rational. Now, now I'm thinking of someone who's might be suffering of this. Okay. A bad lever, okay, vested shares, they need to buy in, okay? This is a little bit of a big change saying, hey, you're a bad lever, you've the shares you still vested. And there's some causes, okay? I'm not sure if I included it, okay? I actually need to take a note. Okay, here, let me just do it. Of bad lever, okay, going to, okay, there can be bad labor, bad labor, damage to company, no vesting. Okay. This is a little bit hard to match to the market. It's a little bit hard to know exactly what is the situation in this. Okay. And I'm gonna put TBD, okay, because I'm gonna ask some but for example, one of the companies I work at, the bad labor, um, bad labor really in terms of damaging the company, in terms of really kind of hurting the company. The idea is that person there was no vesting. There was a retraction of no vesting, retraction of shares. Okay, and the problem is this can become this normally ends up in court. Okay, retraction of shares of options. The problem of this is this can be very conflictive. Okay, I think it's generally good to have the clause there, but then decide to exercise it or not exercise it. Okay, I need to add it. Mark added. Okay, right of refusal, blah blah, must participate in majority approved sales. Okay, basically saying, hey, you can't. These are standards. Okay, and basically saying if we all sell, you have to sell your shares. No, because that could be a limitation if the person says, no, 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 I'm not selling. No, 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 this is not up to discussion. Okay, if we all sell, you have to sell your shares. Okay, can participate. Okay, just giving them the option of saying, hey, actually the company has a round of funding. Do you want to put money? This is always good. Then the non-compete, 12 months. Okay, this is a little bit below market because you are limiting, and the problem is this has a lot of legal ramifications, okay? But I think what I did to soften it up is saying, hey, 12 months post termination with a build-up 12 in 2 years, okay? Meaning the first year, I think it's 6 months, then it's 9 months, and then by the second year, it's 12 months that you can work with a competition. Look, we can put 12 months, that's it, and strictly define it, okay? Or we can leave it a little bit because this it's my recommendation is to put the build up, okay? Because in any case, it's going to be so hard to claim, I would say, in this field, unless they're doing like let's say social media management, a specific company, anything in the marketing AI field is going to be very hard to claim. Oh, this is exactly the same competitor. Look, the field is completely changing dynamic in a non-compete. We can also put a list of names, and we can say, hey, this is a dynamic list of names. But that's going to be very complicated to take to court, okay? In terms of that, all work to the company, severance, 1 month salary. I think it's generally below market. Okay, when it's no cause. Okay, let's be very clear. When it's cause, okay, bye. And there's bad labor. There's cause. There's bad labor damage. There's bad labor. Okay, and there's fire with cause. There's a PIP. There's a performance improvement plan. The person doesn't improve. Okay, bye. And then there's without cause, okay? No cause termination, 1 month salary. Um, I mean, it's quite standard saying, hey, I'm asking you to leave tomorrow. You're leaving tomorrow, but I'm paying you one month, or I'm asking you to leave a month, depending on the situation, okay? One share, one vote. This is a little bit the Zuckerberg thing, okay? This is up to you in terms of decision. Say, no, I want to have super rights. Obviously, that makes it everything is more complex because if investors come in, they'll be like, no, 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 we don't want this bullshit, but there might be fine. Okay. And two, I'm just saying Right now, that's matching the market, one share, one vote. If you were to say, no, 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 I want to have super shares, okay, and to keep my voting rights up there, okay, even if I give shares, I think it's legit, okay, especially with the ESOP, probably investors wouldn't be uncomfortable with that, saying, hey, um, the ESOP holders might be uncomfortable with that. Me as an early founder, I wouldn't be comfortable with that. Okay, and I'm aligned with you, and I'll be aligned versus investors, but I want to make sure that there's kind of a match there. Okay, and exercise price. Okay, from previous funding round. I think we will leave this to match market. It gives us the optionality to afterwards do a little bit what Shopback did, which is give a discount on that when you start going round after round after round. Why? Because then people really need to pay a lot of money to buy in, or there's less value. And for the company in the end, the whole value is the IPO. Okay, I hope this helps. Okay, this is all linked to the document. Sorry, to the document to this one. Okay, um, it's in the same order. Okay, that you have in the sheet. Okay. If you want to go one by one, let's go one by one. But these are the main elements. Obviously, let's would say don't read the other element. I mean, you can read it obviously, and you can do a search. You can do a search, okay? And here, basically using the term to search from one place to the other. Oh, sorry, I don't know why it's jumping, okay? But I mean, that would be the easiest. Use the Excel sheet, the Google sheet, then jump into the document, just doing a search because it's the same similar terms. But you can also wait and kind of think about it, okay? And then wait till we have the final document to read it, because then it's just a pain. Because oh, you edited this or you edited that, and I didn't see this. I think that's the best way. Okay, I hope this is helpful, just to reduce a little bit the stress. I know I sent you a similar video, but I don't think I went into that level of detail because I went really fast to trying to explain. I think this was a little bit helpful.